Insights with Terri Ep.213, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.213. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.213. Thank you for joining me to explore together the week of April the 6th through the 13th, 2025. A lot happened last week. I don't think we quite know all the ramifications of everything that's coming. But on that note, I think we have to just pay attention and let our heart and our logic be our guide, not necessarily let other people tell us how we should think or what we should think. So on that note, with that Aries still in our sun sign, Aries is impulsive, Aries is fiery, Aries is ruled by the god of Mars, which is warlike, but it doesn't have to be that way. It can be that we can take and channel the energy that possibly would make us angry and take that emotion and move that towards something that is more productive and more constructive. So we're taking that energy and that intention and we're moving it towards something that is more constructive for our lives, for the people around us. Maybe recognizing some behavior patterns that are ingrained in us, or even just that we're developing. Maybe too much news, maybe not enough news, maybe not being able to logically talk to people that have opposing views. And I think it's important right now to be able to settle ourselves enough to be able to have discussions and listen to the other side. We don't have to agree, but we do have to maybe listen and take that willingness of Aries to be a leader. Now, I'm jumping ahead, and I don't mean to. I'm trying to keep it organized, not always easy. The number that was given to us this week is 1, which is leaders, right? The number 1 on the Starship Enterprise. So it's leading. And maybe we're in an energy field that we may have to lead ourselves. We may have to be the ones that we look to say, this is what we need to do, this is what is right, this is what is wrong, this is what I'll put up with, this is what I'm going to do. Just as a matter of fact, Canadians, I'm so proud of Canadians. I'm a Canadian and I'm so proud of the fact that I am. When all of this nonsense happened, before the government put up billboards saying buy Canadian, before the government made ads on the radio by Canadians, we were already doing this. Each individual person, tried to take it into their own power and support more Canadians and more Canadian products and more Canadian businesses. We didn't need the government to tell us that. I'm glad that they're encouraging it and supporting it, and maybe making it easier to buy Canadian, because sometimes in the beginning reading some of those labels would break your mind. But we did this ourselves, and I'm proud of us for doing that kind of thing, to support ourselves, to take that anger, to take possibly that fear, and channel it into something productive. And Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we communicate, still in retrograde, but it's going to go direct on the 7th. So now that can be a little fuzzy, because as it changes positions, going backwards, retro, and then stationary, and then moving forward. Think of a logging truck with a huge load and the squeaking brakes till it comes to a stop, and then trying to move it backwards. So just remember that the energy can be a little bit odd, and we may have to be careful while it's making that shift. Be careful a couple of days before, and be careful during, and then a couple of days after. But we will be going to direct, so maybe our thinking will be better. It has hit me like a ton of bricks, and many other people that I've talked to too said that they struggled with it. And Venus, the planet of how we are attracted to things and what's attractive to us, is in Pisces. That's going retrograde as well. Not the best for some relationships, but it was an awesome time to kind of go over some of the dynamics of our relationships, be they what they are, our friends, our family, the relationships to our animals, whatever you consider a relationship. And it allowed us to look and say, how can I make it better? What's wrong with this? Instead of focusing on what's wrong, trying to look at what is wrong and how can I best serve everybody by making it a little bit better. That goes direct on the 13th. And again, same thing, when planets change, we can take missteps, and emotional missteps and relationship missteps can sometimes be not so pleasant. So just tread carefully here. And then Mars, the planet of our drive and our passion, is still in that Cancer energy, which is wanting to be with your family, maybe wanting to dedicate more time to have family dinners, get-togethers, be more in that home type environment, inviting people to your home. All of that is good energy, and I'd like to keep it that way. I'd like it to stay there forever. Now, number 1, as I said, is our number for this week. And it, as I said, too, it's about leadership, taking leadership for ourselves, looking at who we would respect to be our leader, why they want to be our leader, what's their history, really giving some time to it to make good decisions, not just flip it. This is really important now. Very, very important. And number 1 is about courage and inspiration and being active and creative in our lives. And taking what is priority for you. What is your number 1 thing? Is it success? Is it the ability to use your initiative? Is it your determination to succeed? Is it to be devoted more to other people, to devote more time to yourself, to put yourself in a position of praise? Is it domineering? Number 1 can be very domineering. Is it about putting energy towards good management skills? Is it to achieve glory and high social status, or is it for the good of everybody? So we have to look at that. What is our motivation here? And with the planets changing like that, it offers us a really good opportunity for that. The beginning of the week, our vulnerability will be the heart, blood pressure, blood circulation, if you're vulnerable in that area. Towards the middle of the week, the vulnerability could be our stomachs, the pancreas, our small intestine, the digestive tract. So if you're tender there, just don't ask for trouble. And then the end of the week, we end with a vulnerability towards kidney, your bladder, your urinary tract. And remember, I'm talking about your animals as well. They're affected by this. I'm noticing right now one of my dogs is not, I wouldn't call struggling. That would be too big of a word. But the tummy's a little bit upset, and I can see a little bit of a tucked up tummy. Maybe he got into too many of the eggs since the ducks are laying them and hiding them everywhere. Maybe, with springtime he got into something else. But I'm watching him, and he can't come and say my tummy is upset. He can show me by his body language, and so can your animals. So we have to be attentive and not wait till it gets so bad. So what I've done is put a little bit of ginger on his tummy and given him good massage in some of the acupressure points that are for digestion. And it's really making a difference in him. He's much more relaxed. He's stretching out. So we are hopefully, fingers crossed, going to navigate through this together. But just remember, the animals suffer with some of this too, and we can't see. I'm surprised at some of the homes that that I go in, and I'll see the dog struggle to get up, and oh my gosh, so sore. And I'll say, your dog's in a lot of pain there. Do you have him on any pain meds? Or, oh, no, he's fine. No, he's not fine. Look at how he's tucking up, trying to get up. Look at how he's struggling to pull from the front end, his back end. Look at how stiff he looks. Look at how rounded he is. Look at his lips are pulled back. He's in pain. Oh, he never says anything. Oh. Anyway, we need to pay more attention. We do. We need to pay more attention to things. Now, some of the cards that are pulled, the Seven of Swords came up. And if I was going to put one word on the Seven of Swords, it would be opposition or obstacles. So it's where things get into our well, I wouldn't say that they get into our way, but they block us to a bit. Now remember that swords is the mind, how we think and how we communicate. So it's just suggested that maybe some unexpected things will come our way that we will view as obstacles, and they will be obstacles because they are obstacles. So be careful looking at that. How am I going to navigate that? This might not be for everybody, but in these general readings kind of bother me more than anything. But it may point towards job. It may point towards your career. There may be some changes in your job, changes in your career. So a lot of these obstacles are moving, and there's 7. So that indicates to me that there'll be quite a few that are going to be put in people's way. So we have to look at our way of handling it. Are we going to try to unravel it a little bit? Are we going to just bowl through it? You may struggle because it's the mind, feeling cheated, or maybe feel a little uneasy about things, how they're piling on. We do have to avoid self-defeating actions in this, self-defeating thinking. Please don't become your worst enemy here in the way we think, because this is swords, and we can get overwhelmed, and we can really get ourselves put upon. So look at how can I help myself, one sword at a time, one obstacle at a time. If you start to feel that you're overwhelmed or you're getting overwhelmed, look at it. See, what can I do to help myself undo some of this? The next one is suggesting that we may have a change of heart. And sometimes we have to say goodbye to something and we have to move on. And that's the essence of this particular card. We are walking away. We're leaving something. We're breaking loose. It's that kind of an energy. And we may be going off into uncertainty, but it's there and it's necessary. It's a turning point for many of us. It's emotional and very disappointing at times, especially when sometimes we leave the past behind when we didn't hate the past. One thing to break free if we hate something, but if we don't hate it, it's kind of hard. And we might have to turn our back on a very difficult situation and look inward and then look forward. Now, that lends me to think of our political situation, the global situation. We're leaving our friends behind, which is the Americans, right? They're not our friends anymore right now. I wouldn't say the whole population, but I would say on a whole, the way the political administration is, they're not our friends. They're not our allies. We have to leave them behind, sadly, but it's necessary for our own survival. And that can trickle down into our own lives. Is there a friend you have to leave behind? Is there a situation, a pattern, a behavior that you need to leave behind? What is it that's being called to you to have to leave something, walk away from it, let it go? Sadly sometimes, or happy, it depends on the situation. The next energy field I would classify as a major energy field. It's one where we have decisions that are necessary to be made, and they may be difficult decisions, but we're at risk of making a bad choice. It's in a position of not predisposing us to making a good choice. We may make a bad choice. So if you know ahead that you have choices to make in this next little bit, and you know that the energy field is moving towards more making a bad choice than a good choice, maybe we better go back and have to look at the situation again. So this is an energy field that ends things. It's inconsistent. It's making a choice because we're not thinking of the whole situation. So let's just say, let me think of an example. I'm going to think of Austria when it came to Germany in 1938. They voted Hitler in by 93%, I think it was, because they thought they were going to get freedom. They believed the propaganda, and slowly the difficulties happened. And I don't have to tell you about history. I'm sure that you know it. But it was a slogan, freedom at all cost. So they voted somebody in that was lying to them. They voted somebody in that didn't align with their way of thinking or their culture. And all hell broke out. So we have to look at ourselves too, because that's something that we may be making a bad choice in. What are we choosing? Why are we choosing it? Is it ill-considered? Is it a decision that we don't know all the information to, and we're being ridiculous in some of our ways of thinking because we haven't taken the time to research all of it? So we have to be very careful in this next little bit, because I know myself, if I'm thinking I'm going to make a bad decision, that makes me uncomfortable. So just look at your lives, your emotional life, your thinking life, your life where you have to look at your financial resources, your health. All of that needs to be looked at and say, where am I headed? What do I need? Where am I going? Alrighty? And I want you to have fun too in between, because that helps us make good decisions for ourselves. Play with your animals. So I want to take this moment to thank Charlie O'Brien for all the work that he does getting us up on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, YouTube. And then I put that, he gives me the link, and then I put that on Facebook. We are terminating the website. That's going to be done at the middle of April. And so that'll be a dead thing. They're just charging too much money, and it's not a thing that I want to do. So we're terminating that, sadly. It's moving into, I guess, a different era. Have to leave things behind, right? So I thank Charlie for posting this for us. And for all of you, if you want to take a moment and enjoy yourself, and if you like music, don't be afraid to plug into the big8radio.com. He streams the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, all that good music. Remember the good old days? That's Charlie. And treat yourself to his voice. On that note, I wish all of you a wonderful week. Try to focus on what's good. Be willing to make the changes that are necessary. Be willing to hear the information that you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Make sure that you take the responsibility individually to do the research so that you know what you want and not what somebody's feeding you. Alrighty? On that note, if you need a reading for yourself or you need help with your animal, please don't be afraid to give me a text or a call, 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. Thanks again for your time, everybody. I appreciate it. Have a good week. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com, TERRI world.com.